What is the best footwear for hiking and backpacking? While that may come down to personal preference, I will tell you why I started wearing trail runners, 3 reasons why trail runners might not be the best choice, and why despite those 3 things, trail runners are still the only thing I wear for hiking and backpacking. Let's get into it. A quick story on why I started wearing trail runners for backpacking. If you want to skip the story, there's bookmarks below. I was getting ready for a backpacking trip shortly after my first half marathon, which I'm very proud of, by the way, but my feet were totally beat up and they were not having it. I tried putting my hiking shoes on and they were just not comfortable. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to go on the trip, but it was going to be my daughter's first backpacking trip. She was really looking forward to it and I did not want to back out. So I had the thought, maybe my trail runners would work better. So I went upstairs, grabbed my Ultra Superiors off the shelf, and while they didn't magically make my feet feel better, my feet were much happier in these when compared to my hiking shoes. We went on the trip, had a fantastic time, and I've never looked back from wearing trail runners on my backpacking adventures. But before I tell you why trail runners are the only thing I wear for hiking and backpacking, let's talk about 3 reasons why you may not want to wear trail runners. First, none of the trail runners that I have used have been waterproof. There are some models that claim to be waterproof, but there are reviews that disagree with that. Second, durability and longevity can be a problem. A good pair of trail runners will typically get you 300 to 500 miles, where a solid pair of hiking boots claims that you can get almost double that, 500 to 1,000 miles. And third, a lack of ankle support. While there are some trail running shoe companies that make a version that comes higher up on your ankle, I'm looking at you, Ultra Lone Peak Mid, most trail running shoes don't, which you might feel like leaves your ankle exposed to sprains or twists. If you think there are other reasons why trail runners aren't the right answer for hiking and backpacking, let me know in the comments. But despite the 3 cons that I mentioned, I'll tell you why trail runners are still my preferred choice for hiking and backpacking. The biggest reason is just how comfortable they are. Something specific to Ultras and other similar brands is the wide toe box. When I would go hiking or backpacking with traditional hiking boots or hiking shoes, by the time I got back to the car or where we were setting up camp for the night, I could not wait to rip off my hiking boots because my feet were so uncomfortable. And I would bring separate camp shoes to wear around at night because I just could not bring myself to wear my boots any longer than I had to. But with my Ultra Trail Runners, my feet never feel that way. Even after a long day of backpacking, my Ultra Lone Peaks are still comfortable. The wide toe box gives my toes room to splay, and the lightweight materials allow my foot to breathe and flex, and they're comfortable all day, even with a heavy pack on. I love how comfortable my Ultra Lone Peaks are. I also really like having an all-purpose trail shoe. I've used these Ultra Lone Peaks for everything from trail running in all types of weather, backpacking, hiking, snowshoeing, and other than snowshoeing, where my feet definitely got a little cold and wet, remember what I said about not being waterproof, these Ultra Lone Peaks have been perfect for everything. But what about the 3 reasons I said not to get trail runners? First, waterproof. I have never really felt the need to have a waterproof shoe or boot on my hiking and backpacking adventures. I do most of that when it's warm during the summertime, and if I have to wade a stream or a river, my trail runners dry super fast because of the lightweight materials. I have from time to time considered getting a pair of trail runners that claim to be waterproof, but so far just haven't felt the need. For durability, I have over 400 miles on my current pair of Ultra Lone Peak 4s, between hiking, backpacking, and trail running, and I only recently got my first hole. To me, this is a win since I hike in some pretty rough terrain in Utah. While I may be able to get more miles out of a hiking boot, I'd rather not have double the miles in discomfort. And I have a brand new pair of Ultra Lone Peak 4.5s just waiting for me to retire the 4s. As far as ankle support goes, I have personally never liked having shoes or boots that come up higher on my ankle. I just don't like the way that it feels. I'm pretty sure the last pair of high tops I owned was in 4th grade with those ones that you could pump up on the tongue. Those were amazing, but probably not suited for the trail. After hundreds of miles and years in trail runners, I have never sprained an ankle or injured an ankle on a hiking or backpacking trip. So for me, it doesn't seem to be an issue. But if it's something you're concerned about and still want to try trail runners, there are several companies that make a version that comes up higher on your ankle to give you that extra support. If you do decide that you want to try some trail runners for hiking and backpacking, here's 3 tips. First, get something with at least mid-level cushioning. Those Ultra Superiors that I wore on the first backpacking trip with my daughter are a pretty lightly cushioned shoe. You can feel every rock in the trail. I like them for shorter runs and hikes, but for longer backpacking trips, they're just not comfortable. The Ultra Lone Peaks have a more mid-level of cushioning, and most companies sell their trail running shoes in either a light, mid, or heavy cushion version. So look for something with at least mid-level cushioning. Your feet will thank you. Tip number 2, when a new version of a shoe comes out, check websites for the previous model. It's probably on sale. These Lone Peak 4.5s I got for almost 50% off because it was right after the Lone Peak 5s came out, and these were deeply discounted. It's still a fantastic shoe, but I saved $70. And tip number 3, if you're transitioning from a hiking boot to trail running shoes, and especially to trail runners with zero drop like Ultras, take the transition slow. It takes your feet time to get used to a new kind of footwear on those long, demanding backpacking trips. So don't risk an injury by taking that transition too quickly. If you found this helpful, let me know with a like or a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips and great adventures. Remember, life is better with some dirt in it. These Ultra Lone Peaks for everything. These Ultra Lone Peaks.
I'm gonna throw it straight at your face.
Maybe we shouldn't do this. Oh my gosh, stop it. It's rough, huh? Shh. Ultra Lone Peaks.
You gotta catch it
a little bit late.
Higher.
You gotta throw it sooner.
Just
Stop recording.